Keeping a close eye on your forecast, and a cold front moved through this morning, bringing in not so much cooler air, but drier air. I'll be breaking down your full forecast leading into the holiday weekend coming up.
And changes coming to New Jersey's Newark Liberty International Airport after weeks of system outages. We have the story straight ahead.
Starts now.
Good morning, friends. Welcome into Fox 10 Midday. It's Wednesday, May 21st. I'm Ashlyn Mitchell.
And I'm Jennifer Lambers.
Now, Jen, I stepped outside right before the newscast today to get a breath of fresh air. It was fresh. It feels beautiful outside right now. What are we seeing on the way?
So we are only introducing drier air from here. It's even still a little more muggy than what we're anticipating heading into this afternoon, but it's only going to get better and better as we get further along into the rest of this Wednesday. But let's go ahead and take a deeper dive into what I'm tracking out there. A look at conditions across the southeast. And if you look down south, that is that cold front that moved through earlier this morning. It brought some rocky weather to portions of the Midwest, the Mid-South, but for us here locally, it brought a few isolated showers, mainly seeing some of that thunderstorms now moving offshore, but we didn't get any of that bumpy weather. Instead, what we are going to be getting is some of that dry air moving in just in the wake of the system. It's really not going to be doing much for our temperatures out there, but as we do look in a little bit closer, calm and quiet out there, some sunshine for our inland spots. Everywhere else, however, seeing more of that cloud cover. Unfortunately, it is a little gray and gloomy out there. Just a look offshore, things improving to the south side of Dauphin Island, even seeing those thunderstorms turning less active on the south side of Baldwin County. Pensacola, Gulf breeze over towards Navarre, all beginning to dry out. Timing things out on our future cast. We'll continue to see more of this cloud cover heading into the rest of today. Some peaks of sunshine in some areas. Our inland spots looking a little bit better. Still about a 10% chance to see a passing shower as we get towards late afternoon, early evening. Not expecting that to disrupt any of those outdoor plans. Sports practices, games, celebrations, graduation parties, they're looking nice, but we will see more of those clear skies push in the overnight hours. A live view outside from our Navigator Credit Union camera at the Battleship. Taking a look at the flags out there, those winds out of the north bring in more of that dry air. So dew points already dropping to the mid 60s. A reminder yesterday, they were in the upper 70s. So it was feeling toasty out there. Some areas across the Gulf Coast were feeling more like the triple digits. Temperatures out there seeing mainly some of those upper 70s, the lower to mid 80s. But the heat index values, the feels like temperatures, not straying away that much. Still starting to see some of those warmer conditions along the Florida Panhandle. But that I mentioned, some of that humidity still sticking around for this morning, but we'll start to see a drop later on this afternoon. Feeling great by 3 o'clock. So those evening plans, those will be nice and it'll stick around to start off for tomorrow morning. But I'm going to talk more about our forecast heading into the next few days. That's coming up in just a little bit. Ashlyn.
Thank you, Jen. It was a calm night here along the Gulf Coast, but for our neighbors to the north, it was anything but. Take a look now. This is video of a tornado near the Huntsville area. Authorities say fallen trees caused a lot of damage there. Several roadways were blocked to those downed trees. Right now, public works crews are working to get those roads cleared, and we're told homes were damaged by trees as well. There's no word if there have been any injuries reported in this storm. And it was more of the same in Colbert and Lauderdale counties. Officials say altogether, at least 30 structures were damaged due to the severe storms. At least 2 were injured. One person was taken to the hospital after a tree fell on the car they were driving. Colbert County officials say at least 1,800 residents were without power after trees fell on power lines there. Officials say they won't know the extent of the damage until assessments can be performed. In the meantime, thousands in Australia are stranded after widespread flooding. The state's emergency services minister says an enormous amount of rainfall has fallen in Australia's southwest coast. Emergency crews have conducted over 150 rescues by boat and helicopter so far, but thousands are still cut off by floodwaters and remain without power this morning. Meanwhile, the FAA is reducing the number of flights coming in and out of Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey. This comes as the agency takes steps to overhaul the nation's entire air traffic control system. Fox News correspondent Lucas Tomlinson has this story. Well, it's an exciting day here in the city of Mobile as it breaks ground on the new arena downtown. It's at the site of the former Mobile Civic Center. That's where we find our Fox 10 Stephen Moody live this morning with more. Stephen, there's a lot of excitement there this morning. All right, Stephen, thank you. Lots of exciting things happening for sure. Well, straight ahead, the orthopedic group talks about summer injuries for kids, what you should look out for. Plus, the Pope continues to push for peace. That story coming up in about 15 minutes. But first, Jen, it's starting to feel a little nicer out there.
That's exactly right, Ashlyn. A little nicer right now, but we'll start to see more improvements heading on into the rest of today. But again, it's not going to be a drastic drop in temperatures. The main difference, those winds that you see out there pushing out of the north, bringing in some drier air. So the humidity going down, but still anticipating some more of those temperatures just maxing out in a range of the 80s. And unfortunately, some gloomy skies. I'll be breaking down more of your forecast details coming up when we come back.
Welcome back. With school letting out for the summer, kids will be out and about on the soccer field, baseball field, in the pool, in the backyard, and of course on the playground. We want them to have a fun summer, but most importantly, a safe one. Joining me now to talk about how to keep your kiddos safe during the summer months is Dr. Adam Hanwerger with the orthopedic group. Thank you for being here this morning with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So first things first, I'm one of 5 kids, so every single summer one of us was hurt at some time or another. What are some of those common injuries that you guys see during the summer months?
Yeah, summer gets really busy. These kids are out and about. Everybody's running around on the playgrounds, like you said, soccer fields, swimming, etc. End up seeing a lot of broken bones during the summer. You know, you're not in school, so everybody's kind of wild and free, and so we'll see a lot of broken wrists and broken legs and that kind of stuff.
Are there any specific injuries that you guys see based on age? You know, does that vary from middle school students, elementary, high school?
Yeah, it definitely kind of varies, especially as you get closer to the end of the summer and everybody's starting their sports practices again. We'll see more sports type injuries. Earlier in the summer, you know, these kids they're on the playgrounds, they're on their trampolines. We see a lot of that kind of stuff. So a lot of upper extremity fractures, wrists and elbows and whatnot. And then as they start getting on their bikes and their electric scooters, then we start seeing the foot and ankle injuries and the leg injuries and that kind of stuff.
Would you say it's easier for kids to heal from these injuries than adults?
Yeah, absolutely. They'll bounce back much faster and much more quickly than say I would. And so, which is nice because then you can kind of reassure the parents, hey, look, things are going to get better and fairly quickly, and we'll get him or her back to their normal activities.
And that's where you guys step in. How can you guys help in the event these kids are hurt?
Yeah, I think it depends on the nature of the injury. A lot of them, and most of them, I would say, we can treat with casts or boots or braces and that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, sometimes they're going to be bad enough that do require surgery, and we'll have to go in and do an operation to stabilize the bone and fix the bone and get them back to their normal activities, and that's where we jump in.
Very good. And obviously we live on the Gulf Coast, so people are swimming in the water all the time. What are some of those water injuries that you see, and how can kids be safe around bodies of water?
Yeah, some of the big things we'll see, especially with the water parks, you know, they'll be slipping in the slick area and fall and hurt, whatever it is, arm, leg, etc. We'll have a lot of kids that will jump off piers, for example, and they don't realize that it's not as deep as they thought it was, end up with a broken leg, broken foot, something of that nature. And then, you know, we just say, look, if you're going to be doing those kind of things, be aware of your scenario, be aware of how deep you're going to be jumping, and just make sure you kind of brace yourself.
Good. And you know, what message do you have for parents that sometimes it's hard for kids to communicate how they're feeling, what type of injury they have? What should parents be on the lookout for?
Yeah, I think if you've got a kid who clearly is sort of hesitant to use either their arm or their leg, or you can tell they're limping pretty significantly and they don't want to put full weight on it, that needs to be something to look for. Or if, you know, they go to pick something up and you can tell they're just kind of wincing a little bit, that's the stuff to look for.
Sure. We were talking a little bit earlier. This is the calm before the storm, before school lets out. I'm sure you guys get pretty busy during the summer. How can people book an appointment?
Yeah, the simplest thing to do is to call the main office at 251-476-5050. We also have a walk-in clinic where people can just show up if they're not able to get through. And also another option is an online option. So it's pretty easy to get in to see us anytime they want to.
Love it. Any other critical information you want people to know about kids' injuries during the summer months?
Yeah, I think that you just got to be a little more vigilant than you might during the school year because, sometimes we just send the kids out and let them go do their thing for the whole day and they come back and you can tell something's not quite right. Just keep an eye out for something that just doesn't seem right.
Great reminders there. We're always telling kids to get outside and get off their phones and their iPads, but we should watch them and be careful too, right?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
All right, well, Doctor, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. This full interview will be posted on our website, fox10tv.com, as well as a link to the orthopedic group. Welcome back. Pope Leo plays peacemaker as the wars in Ukraine and Gaza grind on. Fox News correspondent Alex Hogan has the story from London now.
I am happy to be with you in this, the first general audience of my pontificate.
Pope Leo XIV renewed his prayers for peace as he addressed some 40,000 people in St. Peter's Square. The Pope holding his first general audience on Wednesday, putting a focus on the war in Gaza, where food, water, and medicine is desperately needed after an 11-week blockade by the Israeli military.
The
situation in the Gaza Strip is increasingly worrying and painful. I renew my heartfelt appeal to allow access for decent humanitarian aid and to end the hostilities.
It's a continuation of the new Pope's focus on ending world conflicts. On Tuesday, he reiterated calls for a peace summit at the Vatican between the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine, hoping to end the war after more than 3 years of fighting. But Moscow said Wednesday no decision has been made about attending the talks. And during a visit to troops in the Kursk region, Russian President Vladimir Putin signaled he's ready to keep fighting.
It is clear who we are fighting against. They are destroying monuments from the Second World War, and this gives us every reason to say that these are people with neo-Nazi ideologies.
Meanwhile, President Trump says he's considering new sanctions on Russia to pressure them into coming back to the bargaining table.
We'll see how Russia behaves. We see what's going to happen. We have a pretty critical time right now.
The president says if Russia won't start negotiating soon, the U.S. will walk away from efforts to broker peace. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Still ahead on Fox 10 Midday, changes could be coming at Kraft Heinz. That story and much more in your business headlines. Plus, Vanessa Pacheco is checking out a fun place for the kids this summer. Very Vanessa is after this. Did you know there's a place in Mobile where kids are encouraged to play, create, and yes, even get a little messy? Vanessa is at Bloom Place Studio with a closer look at what makes this place so unique. Look out for that. In the meantime, for more than a decade, the national nonprofit Carry the Load has been walking across America. Dozens gathered at USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park to continue the walk along the Gulf Coast and honor the sacrifices of our nation's heroes during the Carry the Load relay. The national movement stops in cities across the country, paying tribute to fallen military members, first responders, and their families. Carry the Load works to preserve the meaning of Memorial Day. They started in West Point, New York, and they've certainly put in their steps, participating in several walks throughout the country. Paul Willimore with Veteran Air didn't hesitate to join the walk as a sponsor and a member of the community. He says his business is veteran-run and committed to supporting those who serve.
I am a Marine Corps veteran and proud of it. Had no idea I was going to be standing up here today, but here we go. What Carry the Load means to me, everybody's carrying someone, whether it's first responder, military veteran. You've always got somebody. My father, everybody's got somebody that they hold close and dear to them that you carry with you every day.
And thank you for your service, Paul. Carry the Load continues its journey throughout Biloxi today as it heads towards Dallas, where the national relay will conclude on Memorial Day. Well, still ahead on Fox 10 Midday, the Bartifier claims to make almost 500 cocktails from the comforts of your home. We're putting it to the test in this week's Does It Work? And I feel like a lot of people can relate to this one. It might be tempting, but hitting that snooze button is bad for your sleep.
Researchers warn that snoozing disrupts critical sleep phases.
Yeah, they say the hours just before waking are rich in REM sleep, and hitting the snooze typically only offers you light sleep in between alarms.
However, if you often opt for a few extra minutes in bed, you are not alone.
Thank goodness. A study led by researchers at Mass General Brigham analyzed sleep data from more than 21,000 people around the world.
It found that over half sleep sessions end with hitting that snooze button, with an average of an extra 11 minutes of sleep.
Do you do this?
I do. I'm so bad at it.
I used to do this and I was terrible at it up until the last month, actually. I'm getting better. It's still so hard, but I've plugged my phone in across my bedroom. So when the alarm goes off, I have to get up and get it. By the time I get up, I'm pretty much awake. It hurts, but it's helped a lot.
I might need to do that too. I snooze it like 3 different times every single morning.
So easy
it's
to
9 minutes
do.
every time, but it's becoming a bad habit. I've been interested to try the Hatch ones.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, they slowly begin to wake you up. They'll light up the room a little bit as you start to get closer towards
and you
your
work
alarm.
some crazy hours of this job too, so the snooze is well deserved sometimes. It's okay. It's okay to do. All right, well, it looks like just a small piece of plastic, but the makers claim it can help you create more than 480 cocktails right here at home.
I'm interested. Rachel Hackbarth puts the Bartifier to the test.
Gwen Robles can create just about any concoction from the bottles she finds on these cabinets. But could the Bartifier cocktail maker help her come up with even more ideas?
Have you ever seen one of these before?
I have not. This is new to me. I don't even think I've heard of this before.
Here's how it works. For $39.99, we get this cup with dividers.
Like just a piece of plastic.
Accessing the free app is supposed to turn that small piece of plastic into a drink-making machine.
Go to the cabinet screen, then select ingredients you have at home. Okay.
After a quick registration, we just pick out our drink we want to make.
A Tokyo iced tea. Is that pretty tricky, or how is...
Well, it's one that I'm not used to making, so that's why I decided let's grab this one.
Step by step, we follow along with these images.
All right, there's our vodka. It's a little messy. These slots are a little small compared to an actual jigger.
Our cup of ice is quickly starting to look more like a Tokyo tea.
This is actually a pretty accurate little pour. I mean, it does look right.
Looks on point, but does the taste hit the mark?
What does it taste like?
Tastes like the Tokyo tea.
Just a few steps and one Bartifier cup. This bartender thinks this cocktail creator works. And while she isn't going to be using it at her bar, she believes it could be useful at home.
I will say if you're not used to mixing cocktails, you're not a seasoned bartender, this could be definitely a good friend to have.
For Does It Work? I'm Rachel Hackbarth.
Hey, I think it'll be something great to go ahead and teach you some of those cocktails. You think, Ashlyn?
I would love to try it. I love a good cocktail. I've never made one at home, so this could be a good gift for me.
There you go.
Anybody wants to get me anything.
There you go. Something to keep in mind and a great way to learn some of those drinks. Well, just a reminder, right now is a great time to go ahead, download the Fox 10 weather app. That way you're staying updated with the forecast, all of the changes that we have out there, especially heading closer towards the holiday weekend. But let's go ahead and take a look outside of what I'm tracking down in D'Iberville, Mississippi from our Scarlet Pearl camera. Traffic moving smoothly, but still just starting to see some of those gray, gloomy, overcast skies. Temperatures 80 degrees. Feels like temperatures only straying away by a single degree. I love it. That dry air is pushing in. Heading into the rest of today, daytime highs maxing out all across the Gulf Coast, really the mid to upper 80s. We'll see more of the mid 80s, but still some isolated 90s will be possible. Those winds, nice, calm out of the north. Love to see it, but again, we will have those gloomy overcast skies. Now check this out. The last day of school for many kiddos across the Gulf Coast is tomorrow. Excited for it. Plenty of sunshine heading into our Thursday. Those temperatures still warm in the mid 80s, and we typically go and get some of that ice cream tomorrow to celebrate. It's going to be a fantastic day for it, but I'm going to have a final look at your forecast coming up in just a little bit. For now, a live view outside on Dauphin Island. We'll be back with 3 to Know before you go after this.
Welcome back in. A homeowner and a truck driver are both okay after a terrifying crash was caught on camera when a dump truck lost control and smashed into a New Jersey home. Jeremy Roth has today's edition of Take a Look at This.
Wild dashcam video from New Jersey shows a first-person perspective of the moment a driver lost control of a dump truck and crashed into a home.
Went through the front yards, never braked, and just right into the house. You hear bam!
Eyewitnesses watched the careening crash unfold firsthand and rushed to the aid of a homeowner trapped inside.
I could hear my neighbor calling for help, screaming for help.
WPVI reports the man was eventually rescued from the rubble with non-life-threatening injuries. The driver, whose employer says suffered a medical emergency behind the wheel, was also safely rescued. The house was not so lucky. Damaged heavily from the crash, what was left was later demolished. More intense POV video, this from a dizzying helicopter rescue of an injured rock climber that unfolded high above a California cliffside. The Riverside County Sheriff's Office Aviation Unit shared the video, saying a climber sustained a limb injury after falling some 30 feet while scaling Lily Rock in Idlewild. Unable to self-rescue, the injury left the climbing party stuck on a rocky outcropping until responders showed up and hoisted the hobbled climber back to safety. Finally, no rescue op was needed for a North Carolina homeowner who sat back from a safe distance watching a family of bears make a day of it in their yard. The homeowner thinks the recent emergence of cicadas in the area may be giving the bears a crunchy critter incentive to visit. After all, climbing trees, playing on swings, and leering into windows like a big old creepster can really work up an appetite. Get a good look there, Yogi? Move it along, weirdo. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Looks a lot like Saraland, Alabama right there. Well, here's your 3 to know before you go today. Big news for fans of both football and the Olympics. NFL players will be eligible to compete in flag football at the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. The NFL owners voted to allow the rule change yesterday. And according to the proposal, no more than one player from each team can participate in the event. This will be the Olympic debut for flag football. Well, the Mobile City Council is considering a $15 million contract to deepen the lake at Langham Park. It's part of a vision the city hopes will result in environmental improvements and greater recreational opportunities. The lake runs just 6 inches deep in some spots because of runoff from Ziegler Boulevard. Mobile officials hope to deepen that to a consistent 5-foot average in the lower lake and 3 feet in the upper lake. They say doing so would allow easier access for canoes and kayaks. The dredging is slated to begin sometime in August and is expected to take about 18 months. Well, finally happening in about 30 minutes, the Gulf Shores International Airport is marking a historic event. It's a big step forward in regional air travel as it welcomes its first commercial flight service with Allegiant Airlines. We're told the flight will fly in from Knoxville with a returning flight that same day. And listen to this. You can book direct flights to 6 locations now, including Knoxville, St. Louis, Kansas City, Northwest Arkansas, Cincinnati, and Houston. The celebration will feature a ribbon cutting and lots more today. Now, Jen, I'm super excited for the St. Louis and Kansas City destinations now. That's huge for our area.
That is huge, especially might have to go back to check out a Royals game. Well, taking a final look at your forecast and heading into today, those temperatures still going to be warm despite the cloud cover and that cold front. We're going to be maxing out mid to upper 80s out there. Now, also, I did talk about the rain chances on Monday. This is starting off Sunday night. This is going to be for Memorial Day. More rain chances move in heading into the overnight hours. We start off Memorial Day Monday. We're calm, we're quiet, but those rain chances are on the rise, mainly heading into the afternoon and the evening. So Saturday and Sunday is going to be the better day for any of those outdoor plans. Do keep that in mind, turning soggy for the second half of your Memorial Day. We'll keep you updated right here on Fox 10.
It's lunchtime. I'm going to go eat outside today and enjoy it. Thanks for watching.